Hello, my name is Rebecca Tingy and I am the Quest mentor. So you're watching this video because you have chosen to be a Quest writing coach. There's, let's see, we've got Ethan, Hiram, Hannah, Lacey, and Brad in our Quest class. And so they've hired you to be their writing coach for this year. And the reason why I want to make this video is because I want to help you understand kind of what we expect from the papers, and how we expect you to coach these scholars of ours. So one of my favorite books is Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. And Harriet Beecher Stowe, I think, is one of the most amazing authors of all time because she was really able to have command of the English language and really speak to her audience, and she made an impact on the world. It was Abraham Lincoln who said, after she had written this book and most of America had read it, he said, "So you're the little old lady who started this great war," referring to the Civil War. So her writing had such incredible impact on the world at that time because she was able to speak to her audience. I've also learned that Harriet Beecher Stowe didn't become a writer until she was in her 50s. So there's hope for all of us. I know for years I always thought that I was the worst writer because whenever I'd hand in my papers to my teacher, she would mark all over it with red pen, "This is wrong, spell this right," and it would just make you feel like, oh, I'm the worst writer, I don't know what I'm doing. So we kind of take a different approach in our Quest class. When we are holding these scholars' papers in our hands, or we're reading their emails, we are holding their souls. I know that may sound a little extreme, but it's true. And when we can view it that way, and we can know that we're holding their souls, this is precious to them, they have opened up to us and written something from themselves, and we want to treat it very, very carefully. So first of all, we want to understand that when we're holding their papers, we're holding their souls. And second of all, when we're giving feedback on their paper, we want to make sure we start with positive feedback. So the first point is start with positive feedback, and I'm going to write this. Okay, so number one is start with positive feedback. So what you want to do when you first start with their paper is you first want to read through it and look for all the amazing things you're finding in it. Point out all the good things first. And then I really feel that once the scholars see that you're pointing out all their good points, they are going to be way more open to any feedback that may be needing correction. So that would be your second point. Then you can go into the correction. Okay? Positive first and correction second. And of course we want their papers to be legible. We want them to have correct spelling. We want it to look really great. And that's going to be your job as the writing coach. But it's always important to start with that positive so that they're not feeling like, oh, my paper's just been ripped apart and I'm the worst writer and I'll never get good at this. So, find things that they need help with on the grammar, on the spelling, and also maybe some things where they could pull out a little bit more thought. So those are the two things to keep in mind. Now, as a writing coach, we also would like the papers to come back in a timely manner. So the youth in our class just got their assignment today. Today's Thursday. What's the date?
I think it's the 13th.
The 13th. And their paper is due on the 20th. So they have a week to write their paper, but they've got to get it to you, have you look over it and give any correction and feedback, get it back, correct it, and then they can get it to us by next Thursday. So they need to be able to get their paper to you in a timely manner and get it back in a timely manner. So they've chosen you as their writing coach because they feel like you would be a great writing coach for them. Either you're a great writer or you love writing. And so it's super important that you're able to communicate with them either by phone or by email or even in person if you can, and make sure that it's happening promptly. They need to get it to you by Saturday, and you need to get it back to them by Monday or Tuesday or something like that, so that they can make sure they have enough time to fix any corrections that you've given them. We're going to have them, and I know we forgot to put this in our email today, but we're going to have them write to an audience. Probably not for this first paper, but for their second paper, they're going to write their audience on the top of their paper. So for instance, let's say they're writing to politicians. You're going to want to make sure that the way they're writing is going to influence and affect someone who is a politician. So we can look for that. Also, there is this little grading sheet that they've gotten today in class, and I'm going to email you a copy of it as well. And so what you're going to look for is you're going to look for their thesis, you're going to look at their thinking, you're going to look at the flow of the paper, their target audience, the readability, punctuation and grammar, and overall effectiveness. And you're going to make sure they're hitting all those points to be able to get a 10 on each paper. Like I said, the audience, we forgot to mention that today in class, so that one probably won't count for this first paper, but everyone after that, we'll make sure we're giving them that information. Yeah, so I think we've hit all the points. I would like to keep in communication with you as well, so I'm going to email you, like I said, so you'll have my email and my phone number, so if you have any questions, you can contact me, and then just make sure you're communicating with them and they're communicating with you, and then they also need to be giving you some sort of payment for your service to them. It doesn't have to be money, but it could be a service that they could do for you or something like that. So make sure they're working out that payment agreement with you so that they're putting effort into this too. So anyway, thank you so much for being our writing coach. This is going to be a great year, and we're so excited. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.